Okay, I think I started this around like 5 or something. Yeah, 4. I started at 4 and it's almost 10. So it took me like 5 hours to install this, man. Okay, like I'm not gonna lie, Hades Mega is not. It does say on the manual, professional installation is required, and Hades Mega is not a professional. I'd imagine if you were a professional and you had a lift, the lift is the most important part because it's really hard to work under there. Um, but I got by using a bunch of jack stands and jacks. So um, a good thing to have is extra rivets just in case you mess up. So I got extra rivets here. So I don't know why I should have just used one of these instead. I should have just drilled a bigger hole and used one of the bigger rivets instead, that teeny tiny little one that I put in. But whatever. I have 1/4-inch rivets right here. It's no big deal to use bigger ones, man. So the hole's a little bit bigger. Whoop-de-doo, you know. Yeah, and it helps if you kind of have a smaller riveter, kind of like this. The one that I have, it's a good riveter, but it's too big. It was really hard to fit it underneath the car. To tell you the truth, like I didn't the car really, the thing that was supporting the front of the car is just the jack. The jack is way up in the air, and I had jack stands and that ramp to just in case if the car fell down, that would catch it before it crushed me. Okay, so but really, the only thing that's holding the car up right now on the front is the jack. That's the only thing touching the car. So that's how I had to do it because I couldn't get the car high enough. If you had a lift, this would be a lot easier. I'm not gonna lie, it'll be a lot easier. Yeah, so those are some of the suggestions Hades Omega would make. I would get a heavy duty version of this right here. This, unfortunately, this doesn't have the 1/4-inch, the bigger rivets, so I couldn't use this if I wanted to. I could have done the smaller one with this, but I was like, man, whatever. Gotta use my Harbor Freight. I don't get very many opportunities to use it, you know. And then yeah, just get the car jacked up as high as possible. Make sure you wear eye protection. Using a headlamp helps too, so you can see what you're doing. But yeah, and one of those, I was drilling something and something got in my eye, and I still had safety glasses on. So if possible, I would wear. Don't be lying down right under where you're drilling, for one thing. That's what happened to me. It got in my eye, and it was hot too. I felt it. It was like burning. I was like, oh, ow, 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 ow. But fortunately, it didn't go in the eye, so it was kind of on the side, and I was able to kind of brush it off. So, yeah, my eyes kind of burns right now. And yeah, so I just saved myself about $220 by installing it myself. So you figure, you take 5 hours to do it, since Hades Omega isn't a professional. If you were to pay someone 5 hours for 5 hours of work, that would be like $500. So, but I'm sure like if you were an accomplished mechanic that knew what you were doing, you could probably do this job in two or 3 hours. Yeah. So the time that they're quoting to like install this is about right. So it has two different kinds of fasteners, rivets, and those security screws. So that's nice. I think I was kind of skeptical whether it would protect it or not, but you know what? I think there's enough stuff in the way that it's going to prevent them from stealing it. It'll make it very difficult to steal it. That's the goal here, to make it difficult to steal the cat, and it is. And to get to that cat is going to be very difficult. So if you ever had to replace that cat in the future, luckily the Prius cats last a long time. So hopefully you won't have any problems with your cat somewhere along the line. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. But yeah, if you're in California and you're driving a Prius, definitely get one of these shields, man. It's a good insurance, because these cats are not cheap for these cars, and there's no cheap replacement for it, is what I want to say. So if it was any other car, you can get one for a couple $100. but you're out like quadruple digits if you get yours stolen. So don't be like me and get mine stolen. So if you have a second gen Prius, make sure you protect that one, because I think that one's even easier to steal than this one. So, but like I said, once they run out of second gen catalytic converters to steal, they're gonna start stealing third gen. So, but watch out, man. All right, well, thanks for watching. So probably in the future, I will have a video on how to install the second gen one when I get a new catalytic converter for my Prius. So look out for that. But there it is. So total damage, it was 174 with the shipping for all this good stuff here. It's Cap City Mufflers is the one that sells it, and it's called Cat Security is what it's called. They're in Sacramento, so it's 160 with free shipping, but the extra $14 was because taxes. You have to pay taxes and some other stuff. But it got to me in 2 days. It got to me pretty quickly. So, all right, yeah, and it's tell you the truth. So, how would I rate this on a scale of like 1 to 10? 10 being the difficult and 1 being easy. I would say 7 or 8, somewhere around there. 7 or 8. It's pretty hard because you got to really get up into the car, and then like, yeah, you're drilling holes into the car and stuff, and then you're riveting stuff. If you have a lift, it'll be a lot easier. So if you have access to a lift, that would make it a lot easier. But then it would make holding it up a lot more difficult. If you have a helper holding it up, then that would be even better. So yeah. Also, I like to mention you should buy some new drill bits. Buy new drill bits when you're gonna do this, because all my drill bits are like old and worn out, and it took a long time to drill through the frame. The frame is very hard steel on this car, so it was difficult for me to drill through it. In the end, I had to use a step bit to start it, and then I used the proper drill bit size to get the right size. So, okay, so sorry that was a kind of a long video. That's the first time I did this, and hopefully it's the last time. I'll probably have to do it on a second gen Prius, but yeah, it was it's a little confusing, but it hopefully it won't make the car drive kind of funny. I'm probably gonna take it for a test drive after this, but definitely when you install it, go look around the places where the shield is, and make sure there's nothing touching it. Nothing touching it that will like rattle or get damaged, but at least from what I saw, I didn't see anything like that, so it should be fine. It's pretty secure. There's 9 fasteners holding it and 4 holding it in the back. I'm a little disappointed in the design of the back. They could have made like a little rounded section for it to cover that part where the cross member is, so, or the cross brace. So, all right, thanks for watching. Hazy Miguel. I'll have a follow-up video just in case if I have any issues with it in the future. I'll have a follow-up video. All right, Hazy Miguel. So one thing I want to point out is the only thing that you should have left from the kit are these self-tapping screws right here. Okay. Yeah. So I will go lay out all the tools that I used, so you guys can see all the tools that I used. Okay. Just so you got an idea like what I have to use to. If you have this kind of stuff, then you should be able to do this. So, all right. Yeah. I also I want to point out that the manual did not come with it, so I had to actually download it from their website. So it's a bummer that they didn't include it in here. Also, another thing is I wish they had some stickers. I wish they had some kind of stickers. Oh wait a minute. What's this? Oh, oh, I didn't see this. Okay, this is a brochure. Hold on, let me see if there's anything else in here. No, okay. No, okay, yeah, okay, there is something else in there. There is a brochure here, okay? That's what came out. I didn't see it before, but it was in there, and so this shows you the second gen shield and the third gen shield. So this is the one that we just installed. Honestly, I think the third gen one looks kind of cooler. Look at how different intricate cutouts and everything, and I think it's the same price for both of them too. So this is what it looks like for both of them. I like to point out the design that's on the picture for this one is different than the one that I just installed on that car. Okay, the shield is a lot. What's the word? It's a lot bigger. The rear shield is a lot bigger. It's like double the size pretty much. And the cross brace fits on top of it. So you bolt the cross brace on top of it, and then you put the rivets underneath it. I don't know why they changed that design. They made it a lot smaller. Honestly, I think that would actually work better. Because like I said, you can get a Sawzall under this part right here. There's a gap there now. So I was like, why? Why didn't they just have it, keep it this design? This design is better, in my opinion. Hazelmeg isn't an engineer or anything, man, but I'm telling you, you got to think like a thief sometimes, you know. So yeah, these are some, and this is some information right here. So go to their website and check it out. So getcatsecurity.com. You can tell they invested a lot of time and R&D on this stuff, so they can help, you know, Prius owners out. See, just for Prius owners, just for Prius owners, this has become such a problem that you know they made, people are developing security devices just for thing, you know, just so they don't see it. It's so sad, you know. All right. Okay, I wanted to mention that you're gonna when we installed the front shield, we took this out, and you're not gonna put it back in. So you're gonna have this and the little pins that came out with it. So, and then you're gonna have the two self-tapping screws from the rear. So those are all the parts that you're gonna have left. Okay, and yeah. Okay, here's me here. I promised I'd do a layout of all the tools that I wound up using in the end. So here they are. So the important thing is to get your car up in the air as high as possible, as safely as possible. Okay, so I used 2 jack stands in the back to hold the back up. Basically, I jacked it up and I stuck it on the jack. And to get more space up front, I just used the jack in the front. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I used the jack and I jacked it up all the way. So I can get as much clearance as I could, because I needed it to use this riveter here. Okay, so I just used this, and I used 2 more jack stands to just kind of hover underneath the frame, you know, to where the jacking points are. And so if the jack failed, the jack stand would be able to catch it, you know, before it crushed me or something, you know. And to double up on that, I put 2 of these ramps underneath of it. So like, it's not the safest, but that's as safe as I can make it, you know. And I think that's good enough, you know. That would act like a wheel chock, you know. It would catch the wheel. Also, that would also catch it too. So like, you know, you got double protection type of thing. So, but ultimately, the only thing that was really holding the front up was this jack. And it did a good job. So good job, old jack. Okay, so now that we got our car in the air, these are the tools that we needed to use. The main tool you're going to use is a riveter and a drill. Okay, the riveter, because you know most of the fasteners are rivets. You need a riveter capable of installing 1/4 inch and 3/16 rivets. It was kind of hard to use this because it's so big. There's not enough room underneath the car to really use it. The front was okay, but the rear one, I kind of had to just bite into it a little bit at a time. So the way the riveter works is that it pulls on this right here and it mushrooms it here. And I just had it pull like a little bit at a time. So a little bit at a time, and then until it broke. So okay, so if possible, if you can get a riveter like this one would probably be easier to use. No, it would be better to use because I still had trouble using this one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I had trouble using this one underneath the car. It was, you know, it was awkward to use, but dude, this is a lot of forces right here. Look at how big the levers are on this thing. And it was still hard for me to do it, so I could only imagine how hard it would be using one of these small ones. Okay, yeah, and like you gotta keep it pressed up in there too. I did mess up once, and I had to remove one of the rivets, so and it kind of took a little bit. Yeah, but if possible, get one of these and get one that can do 1/4 inch This one cannot do 1/4 inch, so that's why I didn't use it. So this would fit under the car better. So, but this one, I got this one to work somehow. You know, if you can get the car high enough, you can use this. And then you need the drill, because we drilled about 9 holes in the car, and you need drill bits. You need a 3/16 drill bit and a 1/4, not a 1/4. It was a 3. Well, you need a drill bit set. Okay. And make sure they're fresh drill bits, because the ones I had were kind of old and worn out, and it wouldn't bite through the metal on the frame rails. The frame rails are pretty hard on this car. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I wound up using a step bit to help to start the hole, and then to make it the right size, I use different drill bits, the ones that you need to use. It says in the manual. Okay. So make sure you got fresh drill bits, because it was hard for me to drill through the frame. Then you're going to need some kind of driver of some sort. This is what I used. And I kind of messed up a little bit. So if you mess up, you're just going to have to, there's stuff you got to do. I use a Dremel to clean up sometimes the little tails wouldn't break off all the way. So I use the Dremel. I use a cutting wheel to cut it off if there's a lot of it left, and then I use this to grind off the little tail part if there's anything sticking out still. Sometimes they don't break off all the way. And I use this to punch indentations into the frame, so I knew where to drill. It was still kind of hard to figure out where they were. Not gonna lie, it's probably a good idea to mark it with a marker also while you're doing it. And then we needed flathead screwdrivers. You needed the skinny one to pry out the clips for the front cover, and then you need a kind of a bigger flathead, so you can so you can install the security bits. And I wound up breaking a security bit, so these are some extra tools that I had to use. I used this to pull out the extra threaded part that was in there. Luckily there was still some sticking out, so that wasn't too hard to get out with that. That's a vice grip pliers. And then I used the hammer to break off the rivet that was sticking out a whole lot. It didn't look pretty, so that's why I took it out and redid it. And then and I used this that security bit that I broke. I used this to kind of strip the screw that I put in there. One problem I had was the security bit was the wrong size. The hole they give you, the drill bit they tell you, is the wrong size. It's too small. It was too difficult to get in there, and it broke. So I went one size up, and I didn't have a problem. So they gave you the wrong size for it. Yeah, because there's no way. I was having a really hard time getting it in. Yeah, so that's it. That's pretty much all the tools I used. And then like I said, this is going to be what's left. You're going to have this dust cover here, and then 4 of these clips. There's supposed to be 4 of them. I don't know what happened to the other one. You have 4 of those, and then you should have the two self-tapping bolts that you use to put the rear shield on. You should still have those. If you wanted to drill extra holes and add more rivets and stuff, be my guest. That's more stuff, more stuff to keep it secure, but that's also more work. So I feel that the amount of fasteners is adequate to hold the shield in. Okay, so that's all. Those are all the tools I used. Those are some of the problems I had, and yeah. So it would have been nice if it came with the manual, but I had to print the manual out from the website. But that's okay. But also another thing that would have been nice is if they included some kind of sticker to put on the car to say that you got, the cat security in there. I think there was another brand that they have stickers that you put on all sides of your car, and then it alerts people to let them know that, hey, you got a catalytic converter anti-theft device on your car, so don't try to steal it. move on to the next Prius type of thing, All right, so yeah, I hope that helped you guys out. I hope this video was educational, and if you want to attempt it on your own, you can watch my video and you'll see me struggle. You'll you'll see how much I struggled, and see you know, if you could do what I just did. So yeah, so like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like about a 7, so 7 or 8. It was yeah, you really have to get up under there and drill holes in the car and rivet. So um, and it's gonna be a real pain in the ass to take that stuff out again. So hopefully you don't have to take it out, dude. All right, here's me out. Thanks for watching.